Hey, New Year, what's up? It's the Culture Detective here, investigating your favorite movies. It is January 1st, 2020 right now, and I know I'm late to the hype, I know, but still, I have to do the list, and that is the top 20 best movies of 2019. That is last year. Originally I was gonna do a top 15, but there are just so many great movies this year. I have to make it a top 20, and there are also honorable mentions such as Fighting with Your Family, which I think is a really good movie that values family and takes on it with a comedic tone. And of course, I had fun watching the Fyre Festival documentary because it's such a damn disaster, with the cheese on toast and the water at the security stuff. Anyways, another honorable mention would be The Art of Self-Defense, which is a movie that I have been anticipating for a long time because of the friggin' great trailer. And even though the movie itself has flaws and it has its awkward moments, I still think it is a pretty good movie that fights against toxic masculinity. And then afterwards, we have the latest Ari Aster movie, Midsommar, which I think is one of the most unique horror movies of the year, even though the ending didn't land quite well. And also, another sophomore horror movie would be Us by Jordan Peele, which is really entertaining, but there are a fair share of plot holes in the movie. Afterwards, the Toy Story franchise returns in a really heartwarming comeback that is Toy Story 4. And at the end, we have the last installment in the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy with this one, the third movie, which I think is really meaningful and a really powerful ending to the franchise. Anyways, here is the top 20. Here we go. And here's the top 20. Let's go. At number 20, I'm giving it to Sorry We Missed You, which is a movie about everyday struggles, especially for the main character with his financial struggles to raise his family. And it's just a really heartfelt, realistic, and grounded movie with some really well-written characters. And then at number 19, I am giving it to the latest Spider-Man movie, that is Spider-Man Far From Home, which I think isn't a super great Marvel movie, but it's still a pretty entertaining and satisfying ending to the first era of MCU, with some really nice twists, nice special effects, and just some really entertaining and well shot action sequences. And then at number 18, I am a huge Breaking Bad fan, a hardcore Breaking Bad fan, and I think El Camino is a really satisfying wrap up conclusion to the entire Breaking Bad universe. This movie is basically the epilogue, and it shows what happened to Jesse, the second main character of Breaking Bad after the incidents of the finale of the TV show. And a lot of well shot scenes, a lot of heartfelt flashbacks, some amazing performances from Aaron Paul, and pretty satisfied. And then at number 17, I am giving it to one of the most adrenaline pumping and visually stunning action movies of the year, and that is John Wick 3 Parabellum, Chapter 3 Parabellum, which is, of course, very visually stunning. The usage of lights is really fantastic here. They're colorful, they're great. The action sequences are actually really creative and smart. And just Keanu Reeves being awesome, kicking ass. And it's just a really fun movie, even though I wish it would have been a little more, I guess, dramatic, but still, I had fun watching the movie. Anyways, at number 16, you may be a little pissed off that this movie is ranked this low, but I still like it. I still think it's a good movie, and that is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood by Quentin Tarantino, which is the latest Tarantino movie about an actor in the 1950s, I think, with his stunt double, sort of their life towards the end of their career. And while this movie is the most indulgent and slow movie, and also the most uneventful movie by Quentin Tarantino, still the solid dialogues, the amazing performances, the really, really funny scenes, the ending of the movie is a lot of fun. And I still think this is an incredibly solid movie. I just wish that this movie would explore some more side characters, like Charles Manson is in this movie, and also Bruce Lee is in this movie, who's a total friggin' idiot in the movie. But still, that's just a minor thing. Anyways, at number 15, I have been thinking about this a lot, but it is Portrait of a Lady on Fire, which is a really slow and indulgent French film about two women, and one woman had to paint another woman, a portrait of another woman. At first, the woman who's being painted was reluctant about being painted, but later on the story sort of develops, and this is just a really profound movie about love and art, and it's also really gorgeous, a lot of beautiful shots here. Anyways, at number 14, I have just watched this movie a few days ago, and I didn't have time to do a review on it, but it is Knives Out by Rian Johnson. And this is a pretty, I guess, old school throwback whodunit murder crime mystery movie that has a lot of funny characters. And even though not every single character in this movie is utilized all that well, I still think it's a lot of fun watching the movie. Watching this movie, I think I think Daniel Craig as the main character with the Southern American accent is a little off-putting, but still Ana de Armas, everyone else in the movie, Chris Evans, Toni Collette, they're all pretty amazing. And I think the production design of the really weird, crooked, creaky house is really special. And overall, I had fun watching the movie. The twist at the end, pretty fantastic. Anyways, at number 13, I am surprised after watching this movie, and that is Shazam! Bang! Yeah. I didn't expect myself to like this movie because this is a superhero movie from the DCEU, and if you know DCEU, their movies tend to be kind of sucky. But this movie, Shazam, is actually a really heartfelt, grounded superhero movie about family. It is about family, and also it's really grounded and realistic because it's about a kid that somehow gets superpowers, and that is exactly how a kid would react when they get superpowers. They would use that for their own advantage to be famous, and at the same time there are funny moments in this movie, and I truly like the ending of the movie. Anyways, at number 12, it is Waves by Trey Edward Schultz, I think is the director's name. Not only does this movie have some amazing songs, the soundtrack is pretty great with, Radiohead and Frank Ocean and Kanye and Alabama Shakes, but also this movie tells a really beautiful and heartfelt story about an African American suburban family in southern Florida. Not only are a lot of shots here in the movie very, very gorgeous, but also Sterling K. Brown's performance here. Lucas Hedges is actually not bad in the movie, and I just think there's a really beautiful and powerful message about family in the movie. Again, this movie is about family. 2019, Year of the Family. And just cutting short from the top 10 place at number 11, it is Ford versus Ferrari, which is a huge movie directed by James Mangold, director of Logan. Now, this movie is about Ford, the company, but actually it's about Matt Damon and Christian Bale's character who sort of works for Ford, trying to build the fastest, best car possible in order to win over Ferrari. And it's a movie about friendship. It's a movie about creating something. Not only that, but the performances are totally solid. Christian Bale's performance is Oscar worthy once again after Vice last year. And yeah, I just think it's a really, really solid movie with some really nice, funny moments, and the racing sequences are not bad either. Anyways, here are the top 10 movies of 2019. And I gave a lot of thought into this. I rearranged the lists many, many times. But here we have the number 10 spot, Uncut Gems by the Safdie brothers. One of the most popular movies lately because of all the memes with Adam Sandler being this really cool guy with a lot of jewelries. And wow, Adam Sandler just broke stereotype because everybody knows him as this, clumsy, goofy comedy guy who's not really all that funny. But when he's seriously acting, it's actually friggin' amazing. And this movie, Uncut Gems, is an adrenaline pumping, intelligent, and really cleverly written movie about just crime and sort of not being within the legal boundaries when sort of doing the gemstone and jewelries business. And Safdie brothers do that a lot, especially with their last movie, Good Time. But now we have an even more intense, fun movie that is Uncut Gems. Anyways, at number 9, I am giving it to Taika Waititi's Jojo Rabbit, which is a comedy drama fusion about a kid during the Nazi Germany times, and this movie is about accepting the Jews. And this kid has an imaginary friend that is Hitler, played by Taika Waititi, and it originally sounds like a ridiculous idea, but Taika Waititi is actually fantastic as Hitler, and ScarJo is in this movie. There are some legitimately funny moments in this movie because Taika Waititi is a master of jokes. After Thor Ragnarok and What We Do in the Shadows, but also there are moments in this movie where you actually get the feels. You would actually cry for the characters because it's just so heartfelt, and it's a really, really solid movie. Anyways, at number 8, it is the incredibly large, gigantic movie that is The Irishman by Martin Scorsese. This movie is 3.5 hours long, and it is a gangster epic because Martin Scorsese is known for his gangster films. And it stars Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, and Al Pacino. Amazing cast here, amazing performances here, and this movie sort of highlights the start and the end and everything in between of these people and how their relationship sort of progress, and a lot of things in this movie, a lot of ups and downs, and it just tells a really just a really powerful story about life being a gangster in the beginning, but later after being old, sort of learning from their own mistakes. And it's actually a really humane movie, and it tells a really compelling story. Anyway, at number 7, technically this movie came out in 2018, but I didn't put it in last year's list, so it's in this list now, and that is Gaspar Noé's Climax. This movie is not for everyone. First of all, this is a very disturbing, gruesome, gross, trippy, nauseating, a puke-inducing movie with flashy lights, very epileptic, and with a lot of dancing. And halfway into the movie, suddenly everybody's drugged with LSD, and everyone just goes insane. And a lot of terrible things happened afterwards. A lot of blood, a lot of tears, a lot of screams. And it's just so anxiety inducing, especially with all the long takes in this movie where everybody's just going crazy because all of them are high on LSD, and everyone's just doing the wrong things to the wrong people, and it's all just chaos. It's all chaos, and I felt like I couldn't breathe when I watched the movie. It truly suffocates me. Anyways, this movie is an experience, and it's such a horrifying, nightmarish experience. I highly suggest people to check it out. Anyways, at number 6, also an experience, and that is 1917 by Sam Mendes, which is a World War I film. And of course, it is adrenaline pumping. It is intense, very suspenseful, a lot of epic, just bone chilling, goosebumps inducing explosions and gunshots and chases. But also, the cinematography of the movie is done by Roger Deakins, who tried to make this movie look like it's all shot in one take, a la Birdman. And he did it really, really well. It's really large in scale, and it's one of the most visually stunning and epic and cinematic movies of the year. And here is the top 5. At number 5, it is Avengers Endgame, which is the, well, technically Spider-Man Homecoming is the last movie of the era, but Endgame, we all know that Endgame is the legit endgame of the first era of MCU. And it's a huge movie, 3 hours long, a lot of characters, and somehow all the characters, they're all really well managed, well written, they have their own shining moments. And yes, this movie has its flaws, but it's still extremely gratifying to see all the storylines tie up together to one epic battle at the end that is just entertaining. The portal scenes gives me chills, and the time traveling aspect is really smart, and even the start of the movie, it's depressing, and I just really love the vibe of the movie. Anyways, at number 4, I am giving it to Marriage Story by Noah Baumbach. And this movie, it's about a divorce, actually. And it is one of the most heartfelt, humane, and moving movies of the year. And not only because Adam Driver and ScarJo gave their best performances ever, but also the script is really, really well written. The dialogues are realistic, and this movie explores both sides of the story, and it just shows how painful and how emotionally impactful a divorce can be, and it just shows the nature of love really well in a three-dimensional way. And I just really liked the movie a lot, and I feel like I would enjoy the movie a little better if I'm married right now. Unfortunately, I'm not, but yeah. Anyways, at our number 3rd spot, I am giving it to Joker. Of course, you know, this movie is popular, it's all the rage, it's all the hype, and it's great. I don't think it's the greatest movie ever, but I think it's reasonably great. Joker by Todd Phillips. And this movie is actually a really dark, grim, and depressing character study of one of the most famous, and one of the most iconic, if not the most supervillains of all times, and that is Joker, and how he's being dumped and mistreated by the society, and how he just transformed into this really twisted man who sort of uses chaos because this is the only way to I guess bring justice to the world, and that is by chaos. And really impressive character study. Joaquin Phoenix's performances is truly Oscar worthy here. A lot of chilling laughter, and the cinematography is not bad either. Whoever came up with the color palettes for the movie deserves a raise because it's very unique. At number 2, oh my gosh, it's so hard. Number 2 and number 1 spot, like it's so hard to pick one. It's so hard to pick one, but I came to the decision that number 2 should belong to The Lighthouse by Robert Eggers, and also Max Eggers, his bro. So, The Lighthouse is a black and white movie shot in a really special aspect ratio, and it's basically two people talking to one another. That is Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe. Except here's the catch. They are stuck, trapped in a lighthouse, and the lighthouse is enchanted. And so they go insane. They go absolutely fucking insane. The scenes, the Neptune monologue, the mermaid, the you're fond of me, lobster, ain't ya? The what? This movie is absolutely insane. Again, this movie is not for everyone because it's very dialogue heavy. But it's all almost like Tom and Jerry, except instead of chasing each other and trolling each other, they're talking and arguing with one another. And it's spectacular. Some of the best performances I've seen all year. A lot of the scenes I keep rewatching, the trailers I keep rewatching, and there's just a really sort of deep, chilling, supernatural theme that this movie has, but it doesn't quite show until the very end, and it's all arranged really, really, really well, and I just friggin' love the movie. But yeah, anyways, at number one, I think you already know what it is, and that is Gisaeng-chung, or Parasite by Bong Joon-ho, one of the most underrated directors of all times. So, Gisaeng-chung is a movie also about a family, and it's about how a poor family feeds on a rich family and get their money, and crazy things happen. The reason why I love this movie so much, the major reason why anyway, is that it's full of twists and turns. Just when you think this movie is going this way, it's gonna completely defy your expectations and go that way. It is absolutely insane, and at first it seems like a sort of a funny crime comedy, which is not bad in and of itself, but then later it changes to a thriller, it changes to a drama, it becomes a tragedy, it becomes this, it becomes that, and it's just full of twists and turns, and it always subverts expectations. And of course, the acting is great. The cinematography, oh my gosh, a lot of shots here. They're so beautiful, so immaculately arranged and composed. There's a slick, clean vibe to the cinematography that I just appreciate a lot. A lot of amazing, memorable shots, a lot of amazing scenes, and also what's great about the screenplay is that the stakes of this movie, the tension of this movie keeps rising and rising and rising and rising and rising until the very end, which bursts into an epic tragedy which haunts me for weeks after watching this movie. I really don't know how Bong Joon-ho pulled it off, but every time when you think, okay, the tension finally eased up, psych, it's even worse. It's an amazing movie. I love this movie. I watched this movie on my birthday, one of the best birthday presents ever. I rewatched this movie yesterday. Amazing end to the year, and it's so great. The music, the editing, and it's really intelligently written. The pace is pretty much perfect, and I just friggin' love this movie. I just friggin' love this movie. So yeah, what are your favorite movies of the year? Comments below, let me know. And stay tuned for worst movies of the year. Bye. Thanks for watching.